The 60s really were a very, very different age.
It doesn't take much to trigger a child's imagination. You know what they're thinking. Every youngster goes through it when they visit an airport. Little Jimmy, he's the pilot, handsome in his tailored uniform, the leader, confident, poised, and ready to take the big jet anywhere in the world. Kathy, she's the airline stewardess, filling the traditional woman's role of caring for the wants and needs of the passengers. Dreams, well, we tell our children that dreams like these can be achieved with a little luck and a lot of hard work. For some children, perhaps, but it can never be more than a dream for Kathy nor Jimmy. Kathy will never have the opportunity to reassure an anxious passenger. Jimmy will never operate the complicated controls of a big jet liner. For Kathy and Jimmy are mentally retarded.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Logic. I hope things are going well for you. Now I'm getting like, ooh, you see? The light. Joe, don't go into the light. Don't go into the light, Joe. When I'm working here. So I have like these really bright lights that are designed to give me that healthy glow when I'm on camera, but it also makes it really hard to see the glare on because on my screens is just so I always turn them down, and then when I'm starting a show, I'm like, oh crap! When I come live, I'm like, ah, ding it. Well, tonight's episode. I was so determined that I really want to do a show, even though I was like, I don't see anything good here. I don't have anything good for you. I could talk about Texas again. I could do that. Talk about Obama again. I can cover Tulsi sitting down for an interview. I guess I could do that. I was like, Howard Stern. I forgot the guy was still alive until I saw the news about Howard Stern. We'll talk about that for sure. And then Jimbo, you know, Jim tells you, yes, he comes out, he sends me like this email, which I'm not going to kid you, came pretty late. Came kind of late. Jim was slacking. I don't know. Jim was slacking. I usually get these emails like at 8 o'clock. This came like at 9:35. And then like at 10 to 10, he's like, so you doing a show, Joe? And I'm like, I can't find anything. He's like, well, I sent you an email. And I'm like, when? When did that happen? Not that it's his job to do that. He does it. Not that his job. I did actually look for it. And he's like, no, I sent it out. Like he's good. So I go check and I was like, oh, okay. This came in like 15 minutes ago. I really was like struggling. And there was one nugget that he sends me like, I don't know, every time, I don't know, 7, 8, like 431 stories. And I'm always like, no. The very last one was about Tim Walz. And I'm like, what the hell is that? What is that? Oh my gosh. I definitely want to talk about that. I definitely need to know more about this. My audience needs to know more about this. We need to know. Tim Walz involved in fraud? And he mentioned something else to me about some spy thing with, I don't even know. I was like, Jim, I can't do this myself tonight. I don't even know what's happening with this. I'm going to need to bring you on in here. And he graciously decided to join me. And that's why I bring him on in here. How are you, my friend Jim?
I'm doing good. I don't know how.
Working now?
I don't know what happened. Somehow, I'm hot. Okay, hold on.
Like
somehow,
really
better.
Oh, better? That's much better. Yeah.
Somehow, inside my settings, my headphones got muted. Inside my settings, I had to go into I reset my computer and everything. I'm like, unplugged my Rodecaster, plugged it back in. I had to like go into the properties, and I saw the speaker was X'd out. Like somehow it was shut off. Like, how does that happen?
Do you have a dog?
I do. Why?
Does he play on the computer?
You know what?
Because I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know what your family life situations are. I don't know how well he's trained and stuff like that. Now, what I asked is, I said I'm doing tonight is this. We're going to do this a little differently because I want to be like crazy interactive with the audience, and I'm going to be bouncing between YouTube chat, the ghetto, and locals where there's a chat there, and I'm going to be very interactive there. And I'm basically in fact, I'm moving him over. There you go. I'm putting him into like primo.
I'm trying to get the stuff back opened up in the tab. So just vamp, talk to the chat for a few minutes.
Right. I'll do filler. I'll do
filler.
I'll do
vamp.
That's code speak. filler is code speak for Joe. Buy us some time. Buy us some that you wouldn't know. So when I said filler, none of you knew what that meant because it's such very veiled, thickly veiled code speak. But I'll tell you, because I'm straightforward, it means I'm filling time. Howard should not have joined the Illuminati after Joan Rivers' mysterious death. He did her eulogy in Hollywood, changed forevermore. Bad career move. This dude is such an amazing hypocrite. Oh my God. I'm going to get into it. He is such a hypocrite. This guy who has, basically dumped all over Donald Trump for the last decade. He's such a massive, massive, massive hypocrite. I mean, everything. I do not like him. So when bad things are happening to bad people, and it's not like being caused like directly, like someone's going out there to physically harm someone, which would be a terrible thing. But it's like when it's God smiling down. I genuinely believe that it's God smiling down and saying, "Yeah, you know what? Here, let this be a listen to you." Now, not that he's going to be going to the poorhouse anytime soon, but being unceremoniously cut is something that's certainly, there's not that I think God should be just starting there. That guy. It's not like he was enhancing the world. He had the notion of creating the concept of a shock jock, which I would credit him with that. People would say Don Imus, but he was really much more biting than Don Imus. But I don't know that that's enriching the world. I don't know that that's enriching the world. A lot of people would say that's enriching the world by bringing a new level of entertainment to the world. And this is me talking like a real boomer right now, because when I was younger, I probably would have tried defending that as saying, no, he's creating a new art form. It's like the idea of basically appealing to the testosterone of your audience is not really that creative. It's not that creative. I guess having the cojones to say things at a time and age when people are not saying it is a certain bravado, but you could say it was also desperation. And yeah, I mean, there was this guy dressed in blackface and it became the wokest person on earth. Everyone just forgot about him like doing George Jefferson and putting on the blackface. Everyone forgot about all the different things that he did as an entertainer, which were by 2020 standards were just unforgivable. The misogyny, he was everything, and all of a sudden he comes out that anyone who says things like this and hating on Trump, oh my God. What a massive, massive hypocrite. I'm talking about this story enough. We probably should just like roll into this story.
One second. Almost there.
That's how you have fluidity in his show. I know that we weren't going to roll out with that one first, but I think that
got this one first. Just give me 1 second.
Everyone just support Jim. He look at him working there so hard. He's working so hard. I feel.
Boom.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I got it.
You sure you're okay?
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
Ready? Boom.
He's good. He's
Okay.
good. No worries there.
All right. First story of the evening is going to be this
let's roll over to Howard Stern because I started talking about that. Yeah, no, you sort of got to realize that. Hey, Joe's talking a lot about Howard Stern here.
Howard Stern. All right,
maybe we should just be rolling that out. You sort of got that's being a podcast who is like, hey, we're talking about Howard Stern.
All right, here you go, Howard Stern.
Let's roll in that direction. Now, like I said, I'm going to be very interactive with the audience. I'm sitting here. Nothing you're going to say is going to escape my eyes, and I'm going to let him do most of the talking and just sort of like listening to Jim in the background. My fixation is really on the chat, which means I need to have my ghetto open here because I don't think it is. My ghetto's not open yet, but now it is. Okay. Fixation is really on the. And I would agree that Great Liquor is saying that he was always crap. And yeah, I kind of like, he was just, he was very, I don't know. It seems very easy. It seems very easy to do what he was doing. It's just a matter of just saying, I'm going to do it. So, and that's what he was trying to do. See, that's what he was trying to gross you out.
Okay.
So,
all right, well, I got ready. Pull it up.
You got ready. All right. Let's see what you. Let me remove this. What do you got for me?
Okay. Report says SiriusXM plans to end the Howard Stern show after 20 years.
Which that's just on Sirius. He was on the radio for like 25 years before that on free radio, right?
Right. He started on a WABC, and then he went from there to K-Rock, I believe, and then to Sirius.
Yeah. Yeah. When you make the lead singer from the Cars look like a handsome man, Rick Ocasek, that was his name. Yeah. He was always a scary looking dude.
I do have some stuff pulled up also. If you want to look at this, it's just, it says Sirius plans to end the show after 20 years. Radio Shock Check Howard Stern's show with SiriusXM will reportedly end its revolutionary
This is
run.
You're reading. You shouldn't be reading under your breath. Folks got to hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, I can, but you're not passing the mic over to me. I'm busy talking to people.
All right. Now, Stern's contract is up in the fall. While Sirius is planning to make him an offer, they don't intend him to take it.
A little hot, but you're a little
hot. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Better? I think that's better. Yeah.
Better. Yeah. So basically, what people think they're going to offer is they're going to offer to buy his catalog, his back catalog, all his stuff that people actually would want to listen to, the stuff from like the, when he was on regular radio and when he first went on a Sirius before he turned into like a leftist weirdo who basically wasn't worried about making people laugh.
Yeah. No, and it seems as if the further left you go, the less funny you end up becoming.
It says Sirius and Stern are never going to meet on the money that he's going to want, because right now he's getting like $100 million a year, and there's no way they can afford to give him that anymore because he's not bringing people there.
Which is not surprising. I thought I had no idea he was still under contract. I didn't know he was still working. Like he used to be making news all the time, this guy, right? I mean, there would just be like one story about him or another. And it's like the last thing I've heard about him is his recommendations for
Yeah. He hasn't really been doing daily shows. Like he comes in and does like short little hits, basically, and they have like channels that run like old stuff. But like it's just not the same as it was, and I don't even think he doesn't go into the office anymore. He just broadcasts from his house in Florida. Yeah, which is weird that he lives in Florida.
It is. Well, I'm not surprised. It's like the shift in Florida is a relatively recent thing. It's not like as soon as a state starts shifting politically, it like snap, everyone just starts adjusting where they live. People get used to their community and their daily life, and they're not going to just shift just because the politics of their region start becoming further hardcore left or hardcore right. So it takes a while. They have to sort of get sick of it. And I think you're much more likely to flee the failed policies of a leftist state than you are to flee the freedom of Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be fleeing Florida. You might be screaming and ranting about DeSantis if you're not, and saying, you know, coming out with your stupid woke stuff. But you have to, let's all remember that going back in 2018, you know, Florida barely went to Trump in 2016. It was like a real toss-up state in 2016 that he managed to pull. And that was like a big surprise to a lot of people. And then it wasn't until DeSantis came in and wasn't even until DeSantis got a supermajority that anything was really happening with it turning into the MAGA, the fiefdom of the MAGA Republic. So, and people just don't pick up and move. And why would you move? Because you would just sit there complaining about it. You move away from a Gavin Newsom, right? I mean, you don't want to be near a Gavin Newsom, because like he's going to basically be taxing you. He's going to be implementing policies that make life far more difficult for you. DeSantis is not making life difficult in any way, shape, or form for Howard Stern. And, you know, the taxes are going to be lighter than if he moves to California. So I'm not surprised that he stayed there.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, he's, you got to remember too that the push in Florida was mainly because of COVID. Was the people fled New York and fled to states that did the whole lockdown. They came to Florida, and that's what actually has driven Florida to be so far to the right. It wasn't any. I don't think it was any. My personal opinion, because I've been here since 2014. The push wasn't just the people. It was the people that came. You know what I mean? It wasn't because of DeSantis. It wasn't because of Trump per se. It was just because of Florida was free and people wanted to be free, and
Yeah.
the people that came here were like, and now it's just changed. It's different. It's a different state now, because the people that came here, several million, a couple million people that came into Florida in 2020, 2021.
Okay.
You know, they've changed the state. They're more, like, no, we're not going to be locked down. We're not going to put up with it.
Yeah. No, that's true. That is
That's
true.
my opinion anyway. So
All right, you're our play-by-play guy, so keep going.
All right. So Sirius and Stern are never going to meet on the money. He's going to want to. It's not worth the investment any longer. The source compared the cancellation to Stephen Colbert, which too high a cost. Which no, Stephen Colbert was losing money. Who knows Stern's money? He's probably losing money. There's no way to really track it, I would say. They just kind of keep looking.
Well, I don't know how money works with respect to XM radio. I know that I haven't really been following XM radio. I don't know if it's nearly as popular today as as it was in its heyday.
I don't
which
think
was
they've
probably
ever
like
made
15
a
years
profit.
ago.
I don't think they've ever made a profit.
Yeah, and that's where you have comparison to Stephen Colbert. It's basically, and it really, a lot of people are saying that this ties into the whole defunding of USAID, because even if you're not making a profit, if you're getting financed because people are liking your messaging, like he comes out there and spreads his perspectives on vax, and that all of a sudden, and that is very possibly a position that was bought and paid for by the DNC or USAID or various NGOs. So if he's now taking those positions and people are willing to finance him and they have easy access to funding through USAID, well, then you can keep that money train going. But once USAID funds are drying up, you gotta actually survive on your own merit and your own talent. And I think that his talent was always sus, and it's only gotten weaker over the last, since he switched to XM. So the first place for change was in radio was Sacramento. Morton Downey Jr. was the first shock jock and talk show radio. Rush Limbaugh. Yeah, I don't know if he was really. I don't know if he was ever as big.
No.
And Morton Downey Jr. I didn't even know that he was on radio. Like Howard Stern, Don Imus, I heard of. But Morton Downey Jr., he became famous for
the talk show, the TV show.
Yeah, for his TV show. Can we talk for a moment about how it's possible that, and this I think is something that since he's bringing up Morton Downey Jr., is something that's bothered me for a while, and maybe you can explain this to me, because I've been very confused about this for a while. How does someone named Morton Downey Jr. have a son, Robert Downey Jr.? Is the Downey Jr. just the last name?
I don't think that's his son.
Oh, it's totally his son.
Oh.
It is totally okay. Just stop. Just stop. It is totally his son. And they treat the junior in Morton Downey Jr. as if it's part of his last name. I can't believe that his birth certificate actually says Robert Downey Jr. He is totally his son. People are telling me they're not related. What? This can't be. No, it's not. No, they're not related. Not his son. You idiot. So you're telling me there's no you. So did you check it up? Did you? I trust the chat often, but not when they disagree with me. So did you check up? Are you sure it's not his son?
Pretty sure it's not his son.
Damn it. That would explain a lot of my confusion. Because I would be like, shouldn't he be the third? It would be really funny if Downey Jr. was like a double, like an hyphenated name kind of thing. I'm getting a whole lot of this. It's not father's son, not related. Not related. Robert Downey Sr. is his father. Well, that's much less cool a name. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that kind of explains that. So, but Stephen Colbert is another guy who you know when we learned how unfunny Stephen Colbert is. You pull up. I don't know if you can dig it up. See if you can dig up any video of him during lockdowns. Doing shows.
Colbert or
Colbert doing shows from his garage. I'm doing this at great personal risk. I want you, my audience. It's so important to me to educate you that I'm doing this at great personal risk because CBS is notoriously disastrous on flagging me or flagging anyone who plays any of their content. They're highly good content. Oh, no, you can't touch our content. So even though this is obviously fair use in that I'm only trying to show how completely unfunny he is, when he doesn't have a studio audience there who are commanded to bark and applaud, like clap like seals with this, no one thinks he's not remotely. It's sad to watch. You have a clip of that?
Yeah, I just Googled, I think this is it, what you're talking about.
All right, go for it. No, it was an audience.
Quarantine Wire. In stories you can assume happened in Texas, a dog in Plano, Texas, shot a man.
All right, let's get that out. I'm not going to have more than like 2 seconds of him. I want the ones where you don't have the studio audience there. And this is a thing about comedy in general.
Hold on.
It's been shown, and I know this is going to bother a lot of people, what I'm about to say. I know that this is going to be considered a hot take.
Okay, hold on. Maybe this is it.
I know it's going to be considered a hot take. I'll pull up in a second. It'll be considered a very big hot take. And some of you, perhaps millions of you who are watching me right now, may get offended by what I'm about to say. But if you watch Friends without a laugh track, it's a very sad listen.
Have you ever seen that Big Bang Theory episodes without the laugh track and stuff? And they pause and they're doing it. You're like, what's going on? They're not, because they're waiting for the laugh track, like the way they're speaking. It's very weird. They like say things and then they're just standing there for like 5 seconds. And you're like, what's going on?
I am dead from this comment. Denzel Washington's father is George Washington.
They could be related.
That was really funny. That was really okay. I'm just gonna make this point coming back to the whole Downey Jr. thing. You don't know anyone named Downey other than the fabric softener, okay? And there happen to be two internationally famous folks in the entertainment sphere whose last names are Downey, and they both happen to be juniors. I'll bet you couldn't name any other famous person. You couldn't name 3 other famous people. Someone's going to come up with one. Couldn't name 3 other famous people who are juniors. And the only 2 that happen to be juniors both also happen to have the last name of Downey. Go ahead. I want to hear about all the juniors. I'm sure all you're going to tell you, oh, Joe, you're so wrong. Tell me about all the juniors. I want to hear about all the juniors, the famous. Oh, everyone knows all these juniors. The only juniors going to come up with who are known on the international scene are Morton Downey and Robert Downey.
Well, you got Sammy Davis Jr., Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay. Sammy Davis, I'll give you. He's a long time ago. And Martin Luther
RFK Jr.
No one knows MLK as MLK Jr. Unless you're talking about like the original MLK's son, which no one knows who that guy is.
Well,
So
the I Have a Dream guy, it was Martin Luther King Jr.
okay, no one called him Junior.
I
one
do.
called you do. You do. Okay, fine. So
I actually could say, "Hey, what's up, Junior?" And he
No
says,
one-
"What's up, Jim?"
okay.
He's still alive. He's with John Kennedy Jr.
I'm getting a lot of Don Jr. I'm getting like that. I'm getting that. I'm getting that. The only one that was thrown at me, Sammy Davis, you're talking about what, 50 years ago that guy was famous? That doesn't really count.
He was in Cannonball Run. That was 30 years ago.
I wouldn't count RFK either, because the reason everyone calls him Junior is because everyone knew RFK. If you didn't know RFK, you wouldn't be calling him Junior. Sammy Davis, in other words, no one knows Robert Downey Sr. or Morton Downey Sr. No one knows these people. So for them to embrace the Junior in their stage name is a little bit of an unusual thing. Now, the
chat is just going crazy with all the juniors.
I
Dale
saw
Earnhardt Jr.
The only ones that really count. You see, you can't give me Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. because he was trying to distinguish from his dad. I'm talking about someone who becomes famous and just uses the Junior and doesn't use, and that no one heard of the Senior before. That's what I'm talking about. So you can't count RFK. I wouldn't count Don Jr. either because he needs to distinguish from his father. But
what about John?
It's not like on the
Freddie
international
Prinze
stage,
Jr.?
Robert Downey Jr. had to distinguish, oh, everyone's going to confuse me with dad. That's not happening. So the best example I've seen in the chat, and I am reading the chat, this is the best example I've seen in the chat. Cuba Gooding Jr., that's a comparable thing. All right, that's not bad either. That's pretty good. That's where my question was, Kimmy. That's where my question was going. That's exactly where my question was going. Because I was like, if it's his son, he should be Robert Downey III, which is actually in certain ways even cooler. Harry Connick Jr. is a fair one. Dale Jr. doesn't count because his dad, everyone knew Dale Earnhardt Sr. So that doesn't count either.
Ted Kaczynski was a junior too.
Oh yeah, everyone calls him that. Oh sure, everyone knows. How dare you?
He's the junior bomber.
Oh God! All right. I see.
What about George Foreman? He had all those kids who were all named George Jr.
To distinguish from dad. That's
yeah, but
my
no,
point.
he had 4 of them that were juniors. They were all George Jr.
Okay, here's another good example. Freddie Prinze Jr. is a good example. He's someone. Yeah, that's a pretty good example. And I kind of like this one a lot. Also, OBJ is a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. All right, all right. I think you all agree with me. I think you all see my point and you agree with me. So the fact that I assumed that both Downeys were related to each other. I don't know.
I'm going to have to Google it just to make sure.
Yeah. Oh, so now we're talking about quarantine. I was telling you all before we got sidetracked on the whole Junior thing. I was telling you that Stephen Colbert is not funny, and that was rarely more evident than when he tried doing a late show during quarantine. So can you just play a little bit of this?
Hold on 1 second. It says Robert Downey Sr. was a film director, so that's why Robert Downey Jr. is Junior, because his dad was a director and also in the film industry.
Yeah, okay.
Carl's Jr., that's a good one, yeah. I didn't even know one ever heard of Carl Sr. And I've eaten their burgers before.
Can
Hold on. I got it. Where's it at? Here we go.
I gave you too much power here? No.
No,
Robert
there
Downey Jr. Sr. Robert Downey Sr. was a somewhat well-known Hollywood director, so the junior was needed. And that sort of makes the point that he was just saying Wikipedia. Yeah. All right. This is how unfunny Stephen Colbert is. I've never seen this clip, but I can promise you now, you're not going to laugh. Go.
And then meeting my friends for brunch. Look, I understand postponing elections right now. It protects voters and poll workers, but we've got to be careful because we've been
Can you hear that?
distancing from
A
American
little louder.
democracy for years. Someone should really check on her. She's 244 years old.
So I'm going to remove it because the less of him I can play, the more likely it is that we can. Did you get your volume up on it?
Yeah.
No, if I play a long clip, I'm definitely going to get dinged.
Yeah, I had installed that volume blaster thing, so and I see if it works.
Is closing. For instance,
A little louder.
the Met Gala has
That's as loud as it'll go. That's 600% increase.
Americans, this must come as quite a blow. I mean, the Met Gala is fashion's
Oh, wait.
and fiercest night. Last year, Jared Leto wore as a casual accessory his own head. They had to cancel this year because they were
That wasn't funny, was it? He wore his own
Just
head.
let it play. Let it play. Let it play. Let it play.
afraid he'd touch both of his faces. But just because the Met Gala has been canceled, that doesn't mean that celebrities have cut down on the glam. One of fashion's most daring tastemakers is Billy Porter. Last year, he was carried into the gala on a litter of gold. See, Billy is ready for the virus. His shirtless men all wore masks. Katy Perry is not going this year, of course. She's home, repeating her outfit from last year. She is still dressed as a hamburger, but this year, that's just actually meat that she's hoarding. And to keep up with the theme this year.
I mean, listen to that's just. I mean, it's actually meat that he's hoarding. This is his humor. This is so sad. And then they're like, I can't. It's not. It's not even. It's not even remotely funny. It's not even remote. This is just the saddest thing in the world to watch. When I saw that, I was like, okay, this guy. And then when he gets cut, and people are like, I can't believe he. Can you believe he got cut? And I'm like, what? He's not. He's never been funny.
Well, I don't know. Pull up what's shown right now and tell me this isn't funny.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga went as a pack of toilet paper.
Yeah.
It's real funny. Super funny.
It's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's just not. No. All right.
No,
so
at least he didn't attack people the way that Stern did when it comes to the vax, telling people, he wished people would die. And
well, let's go forward with the rest of the Howard Stern thing. Let's pull that up and finish that up, and then we'll remind folks just how vile this individual was. You found any clips of him actually?
I have a couple clips.
Stuff?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want me to? When you want to go to the clips, or you want to go back to the Breitbart news story? We know the stories. They're going to probably want to basically the story is all speculation too, because it's unnamed people, so it could be being floated out by Sirius to see what people say. It could be Stern's people doing it to try and get more money or something and negotiate. So it's not like like the original story was published in the Daily Mail or the Guardian or something in the UK, and then it's spread around everywhere else.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're right. Yeah. The objective. What we don't know that his contract is over, but I heard that in that report that they said that they thought that he only found out about it like in front of people. Like, how did he find out about it? Does that story cover that?
No, just the only thing I saw was that like on his show, like lately, like in years past, he would say how he wasn't sure, like when his contract would come up, he would start like basically saying like he doesn't know if he wants to do it anymore and all this stuff, like, and it was like a negotiating tact. And this time he's like, I they haven't even talked to me. They won't even answer my, they're not returning any of my phone calls. And who knows?
I actually saw somewhere that he found out the news that they're considering dropping him through a Google alert.
Wow, that's possible. Could be.
Which is, oh my God, that's the funniest. That's the funniest thing related to Howard Stern in years. So, yeah. Do you have? Let's hear his take about the vax.
Okay.
And please be aware that there's no medical advice on this show. We don't do medical advice here. I'm not a doctor. He's not a doctor. None of us are doctors. We're not remotely. There's no medical advice at all. YouTube wants me to tell you I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. And this clip is not coming from a doctor. Talk to your own doctor about how to stay safe from every possible illness on earth, because you're not getting any of that here. Blah, 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 blah. All right, go for it.
Puts it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just go.
ready?
Just start playing it.
As far as I remember, when I went to school, you had to get a measles vaccine, you had to get a mumps vaccine, you had to get, there was a ton of them you got.
You still
Polio.
have to. In order to go to school, you have to have certain vaccines.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated? F them, f their freedom. I want my freedom to live.
Yeah. 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 That was his take about, and he said it more than once.
Yeah, there's other ones.
You have another one you want to share with us?
Yeah, let me see if I can find.
It's like, oh, to hell with your freedom. You're gonna stand up there for the freedom to go kill your fetus, but no, like to hell with your freedoms. Put your fire Colbert through.
You got it or not? I was playing it.
That'd be funny. All right, here we go.
They will not get vaccinated.
Whoop, I missed it.
Was playing.
It's really funny when the radio guys are the best. Like 4 of them died. 4 of them who were like ranting on the air, they will not get vaccinated.
Yeah.
I got this other one here too. Howard Stern says anti-vaxxers should be denied hospital care.
Yeah.
Howard Stern is still trending on social media Thursday for comments he made earlier in the week about anti-vaxxers. On a SiriusXM program Tuesday, the shock jock railed against those who refuse to take the COVID-19 vaccine, while also mocking some conservative radio hosts who fan the flames for vaccine doubters only to then die of the virus themselves. Stern made this comment concerning mandatory vaccinations.
As far as I remember, when I went to school, you had to get a measles vaccine, you had to get a mumps vaccine, you had to get, there was a ton of them you got.
He went on to refer to anti-vaxxers who say the decision to not get the shot is tied to their personal freedom.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated? F them, f their freedom. I want my freedom to live.
The 67-year-old radio personality added, "The only thing I hate is that all these people with COVID who won't get vaccinated are in the hospitals clogging it up." A bold Stern claimed that those who refuse the vaccine should be refused treatment once they are infected, saying, "You have the cure and you wouldn't take it." Amid his rant, Stern also mocked those who use their large platforms to push back against the vaccines.
The radio guys are the best. There were like 4 of them died.
All right, so we got that already. So, yeah, he's really just like kind of monstrous in his whole tone there, and such a shill for big pharma. That's really what he is. He's the biggest sellout, because I'm sure he was rewarded. I'm speculating with the pin here, but I would be shocked if he was not rewarded handsomely by, it could be, I have no idea who, but rewarded handsomely for expressing that opinion in his devil may care manner, his typical Howard Stern devil may care manner. Oh, God, what a scumball! Such a loser. He went full woke, I think, right? He's a very big supporter of trans rights and everything. This is a guy who was wearing blackface. Okay, this is a guy. This is and that's how he was, quote unquote, funny. This is a guy who was funny by basically making contests for women to win breast augmentation and commenting about the shape of their yayas. I mean, that's how this guy made his money. He made his money by bringing in people like Donald Trump, who was always really nice to him, and then he crapped all over him. He's just such a scummy hypocrite turncoat. Just and everything about him is so detestable that I don't understand how,
like, all the stuff from his past, he owns it all. He bought up all the stuff from, like, he owns all the whole catalog from K-Rock and from WABC, and none of that will ever be played because because he doesn't want it played because he doesn't want any, this new persona that he's crafted. He doesn't want anybody knowing about how he used to bring in lesbians and make them kiss in front of him and do stuff and then have
He's just
women
a creepy dude. He's a
get
creep.
naked and sit on speakers and stuff like that. There was that whole thing he did where he had a woman sit on a speaker and he made the speaker to like,
Yeah, whatever.
WNBC. I'm sorry, WNBC.
He was just always a creep, and I guess he morphed into a different type of creep. Perhaps he's not really a different animal. It's just that being a creep, like 30 years ago, meant being, this way, and now being a creep means going the exact opposite way. So I don't know. I guess we shouldn't be surprised about what he became ultimately.
I think it had to do with because he was more interested in keeping the famous people. Like once he got so big, and then he had all the Hollywood stars that would come in and talk to him, and he became like friends with them. Like instead of where he would go after people. And I mean, and I think it might be like there's stories coming out like about like Dana Plato, like Dana Plato from Different Strokes, was it right? Different Strokes.
Yeah. Dana Plato. She played. I'm going to try and remember the character's name on Different Strokes. She was the older sister.
Yeah, the older sister of Willis and Arnold.
Yes. Kimberly.
Kimberly. Yeah, but she.
I only remember because in my head I heard, "What you talking about, Kimberly?"
Yeah. But like he had her on the show and like attacked her and all this stuff. 'Cause she had like drug problems and like just savaged her, and then she killed herself the next day.
Really?
Yeah. And there's stories. There's stories about it right now that are out that they're putting out to I think to attack him over it. So yeah, let me see.
Wow.
Find it.
She was in studio, or he was just ragging on her when she was not in studio?
Let me find out. I don't remember exactly, but let's look. Dana Plato. Let's see. Yeah, it's right here. Hold on. If you pull this up, it says a new case of Go Woke, Go Broke Harrison is going to be canceled when his contract ends. In recent years, he hates Trump voters. Oh wait, no, hold on. It's not what I searched for. Yeah, here he is in 1993 in blackface with
he was with
Sherman
George
Hemsley.
Jefferson, right?
Yeah,
He was
Sherman
with George
Hemsley.
Jefferson. Yeah.
Wait, where is it? Dana Plato. I had it and then it disappeared. There it is. Howard Stern's treatment of Dana Plato is widely criticized as a darkest segment ever in radio. The day after his brutal interview, the star of Different Strokes killed herself with an overdose. It's going to drop Stern over his $100 million contract. Plato had struggled with addiction, financial issues, especially after an account ran off on her money. Child star. She was adopted after being born to a single teenage mom. She was trying to get her life back on track, but had hoped going on Stern's show would help, but Stern allowed no empathy during the interview. Instead, Stern repeatedly humiliated her, questioned her whether she was really sober. He let callers viciously mock her, calling her washed up and a drug addict. Repeatedly brought up her criminal record, nudity in films, and past failures. It was a stick. It was cruel for attention and ratings. The next day, she killed herself. Says he expressed some regret and sadness about suicide, but stopped short of taking responsibility. He did not apologize, and said it was part of his shock jock legacy. He also mocked Anna Nicole Smith, her weight and intelligence, both before and even after her death. Oh.
My audience is so freaking mean to me.
Yeah, her father was Plato. He wrote a lot of good stuff. But as I'm saying, like these people putting these stories out right now about this, basically,
wow,
about him, basically saying this stuff is it's like it might be they're exiting out of him.
Wow,
that was Dana Plato.
I think that the decision to exit away from him is purely financial, and it likely has some tie-in to the drying up of USAID money. All these people who got basically offed because of whose careers have basically died because USAID funds dried up. I actually had here. Let me see if I can pull this up. I saw this thing where they were talking about how since USAID funds have dried up, so many different losers have
Oh, yeah, I
lost,
saw that too.
have basically have been.
Well, yeah, because they were
removed.
paying. There was a whole thing. I can't remember what it was called. There was some kind of media something or other where it was they were giving them tons of money, like billions of dollars, and they were using that to prop up all these like alternative media, but it wasn't really. It was just liberal left wing media shit stuff all around the world.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it. That's why people are speculating that perhaps the funding helped him. You know, that it was based because he became that kind of leftist loser. So there's money in being a leftist loser. All right, now I'm watching the chat here. I'm seeing Dominion After Dark commenting about how Storn is Jewish. Okay, look. I'm going to be real with you all about this, okay? Yes, I'm pretty sure, at least on his father's side, the dude is Jewish. Stern is is kind of a Jew name, and I'll own this one. I don't know what to tell you. He's a loser. Always was a loser. Made the world a worse place for his own selfish interests, and continues to make it a worse place. But at least I can come out and say, we own this one. Sorry. I don't know. Yes. I don't know why. I'm always sitting here. I don't know how. No one on The View is Jewish, as far as I can tell.
What?
Yeah. Oh, joy. Damn it.
And Whoopi.
What are you? Shut up.
Her last name is Goldberg? Hello?
No, okay. No, we are not taking Whoopi. Okay, I don't care. No, we are that. I that's a line. That's a line that I'm just no. I'm not in the draft for the race draft. Dave Chappelle's race draft. We're not taking Whoopi. No, we're not taking her. We're going to pass on her. We're going to let her go. We're going to let it go a whole other direction. Joy Behar is I think she's one of ours. I do think.
I saw someone in the chat say something about show me one thread of evidence that USAID was funding the media, and so I have it right here.
Show me one what?
Show me one shred of evidence that USAID was funding the media.
All right.
So I'm like, okay, I have it right here. Federal funding crackdown imperils global newsrooms. It's from the New York Times. So here, this is our crazy right wing.
Nope.
This is right here. Investigative journalism around the world relied on funding from the U.S. Now those watchdogs are scrambling to survive. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
They were funding. It's not only that. They're all through all this stuff, 180 million for USAID, the National Endowment for Democracy, and all these things were all funding. There was a specific group, and I can't think of the name. Mike Benz was talking about it. It was like this global engagement center or something, and it was like basically just funding all these media stuff, basically buying like thousands of subscriptions for basically everything, like all newspapers. Like they were buying, there was tens of thousands of subscriptions for like the New York Times, for the Washington Post, like just buying these subscriptions. There was some kind of Reuters thing that they were paying, like
trying to like pump up their numbers.
Correct. And it was all these things basically like, and it's like, why would the government be having these like super, or some kind of Reuters subscription that's like $10,000 a year? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like when you get the super secret stuff, it's like, what do you mean the super secret stuff? What are you talking about?
Yeah. I need Adam Sandler to like basically make a song about people who are not Jewish, terrible people who are not Jewish.
But see, it was 0.3% of the budget. So what does it really matter?
Yeah. I'm thinking that's a direction I need to go. I need to basically have an Adam Sandler not Jewish song, because I'm tired of all these different losers being Jewish.
Is it?
And yeah,
I could swear Anna Navarro tried to claim that she was Jewish too.
Oh, shut up.
No, like that she's like a Cuban Jew, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, William Shatner is a Jew. We'll take William Shatner.
Well, he's Canadian too, so he's half Jewish, half Canadian.
Right. That's true. I hadn't thought of that. He's half Canadian. For a Canadian, he's a pretty good guy. So, yeah. No, I need a whole. This is not just O.J. Simpson. I need a whole bunch. I need a whole bunch. Not Jews. Hillary Clinton. There you go. Hillary Clinton, not a Jew. That's right. She's yours. Keep her.
I don't know. She's from Skokie.
She's not. Yeah, Skokie, where the Klan was marching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So you guys have the Clintons, okay? Okay. Just and you got Obama. I guess. Well, sort of. Bill Gates. Bill Gates. There you go. Nancy Pelosi. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to someone.
I have this story.
You have this story about that. Speaking of Congresswomen.
Yeah, the Congresswoman. So here, I don't know if you guys saw. There's this Congresswoman. We're going to play what she says and everything. We're going to go through it because I talked about it a little bit yesterday. It was news yesterday, but today the Chicago Tribune of all places came out basically saying, She said what she said, and and she's not denying it. So stop trying to cover for her.
Yeah. So I haven't covered this story. I saw a blurb here or there about it, but I haven't covered this story. Do you have the clip of what she said? Like,
we have it.
Maybe we'll start with so this way we give like some context to people and like sort of give them like background as to
it's here in this.
It's in there.
It's here. I think it's here in this.
All right, I'll show more faith in you. Go for it.
Yeah. But I just want to start it. Just basically.
All right, do the play-by-play voice.
All right, here we go. Fury Mount says Rep. Delia Ramirez claims her pride in Guatemalan roots over American identity. Guatemala's 60% poverty rate and corrupt governance fuel demands for her and illegal immigrant husband to be deported. Retweet if you support this. Yes.
I never write retweets. I don't. Is that something I'm supposed to be doing?
No, you don't. It's not supposed to do it.
All right, a little slower.
Republicans are justly demanding the deportation of Rep. Delia Ramirez, D, from Illinois, after her disgusting remark, "I am a proud Guatemalan before I'm an American."
That is disgusting. By the way, that is sick. It is sick. You're elected to be a leader here, and you're telling us that you care more about a foreign country. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if 99.99% of Americans were to make a statement like that. Totally fine. But when you're elected to public office, for you to even think that way, much less express it out loud, is such a shameful perspective about who you are as a person. I mean, you're supposed to be there representing your own constituents, and you're basically saying that you care about 1 million Guatemalans more than your own people who voted for you. It's pathetic. Go on.
Okay, so here's her speaking.
Quiero terminar diciendo unas palabras en español porque yo soy guatemalteca con mucho orgullo, primero que soy americana. Quiero terminar diciendo unas palabras en español porque yo soy guatemalteca con mucho orgullo.
Okay, that's not working for me.
It's not hearing it?
Well, no, I'm getting a whole echo. That's so, but it's in Spanish as she says it.
I'm fluent in Spanish, and she said she hates America and wants to kill all Americans.
Dude, what is that? What is that? Am I supposed to just assume that everyone here watching this show is obviously they've all taken their hooked on Spanish and they're all like just really, really just proficient in
well, we can all trust this guy.
Illegals long enough under the Biden regime that all of them just quickly like Coca-Cola. No, they don't speak Spanish. Okay, maybe some do. Maybe 5%. Most of my audience isn't speaking Spanish. I'm not. No,
we have Julio Rosas here. He was a Marine, and he's also going to tell us. He's fluent in Spanish. Just look at that name, Rosas. He says, "I know the Sosas. I bury the cockroaches." That's what he says. He goes, "It's funny seeing people rush to her defense, saying it was mistranslated. It's not. You know who isn't making the claim? Her. Delia Ramirez is not making the claim. Right. Nowhere in her statement does she claim the quote is misquoted. It would be an easy slam dunk if it was." So she's just basically saying it's a tax on her to silence her. Now, also, just so you know who she is, her mother crossed the border, crossed the Rio Grande when she was 9 months pregnant with her in the belly.
Anchor baby.
Anchor baby. Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. We need that birthright citizenship revoked ASAP.
Yeah. I'm a proud Guatemalan before I'm an American. So that's what she said. It's translated right there. The Blaze.
Pathetic.
Trust the Blaze.
Pathetic.
Then we got, the Tribune says that from the editorial board of Tribune, it says words matter. Americans expect their representatives to honor their heritage, yes, but also to confirm their commitment to this country.
It's not also. First, primacy. Primacy starts there. I tweeted out today. I tweeted out today that Candace Owens, who's obviously on a deep, let's all loathe Israel binge, tweeted out a picture of a Palestinian flag followed by an American flag. And I'm like, when your hatred for Israel outweighs your love for America, you make a mistake like that of putting the Palestinian flag first. How stupid. It would have been better if there was no American flag at all. But she's basically saying, I hate Israel more than I love America. The whole thing about flags in general, I have a flag in my background in my home studio. And that's really like an identification thing that I feel like someone's flipping through. I want them. And I love this country. I'm not a big flag guy. And I understand the flag thing. On the 4th of July, I definitely am a big there is the moment to do that. And I become more of a flag person because the left has been hating on America so overtly. I was never a big flag guy. I get the flag thing. I understand it, but I personally was never a big flag person. But if you're putting a flag up, first at the very top, and I don't care what your race is, you can be Irish, you can be Muslim, doesn't matter. You could be Israeli, I don't care. If you're an American, that American flag should have primacy. It should be on top, it should come first, always, every single time, without fail. And it should be something that you don't even think of. It should be obvious to you. And that's why this bitch here, who she comes out with her whole I'm a Guatemalan first, where she thinks that since I'm speaking at a Mexican summit in Mexicans, no one's going to understand me. I'm sorry. No, this is really inexcusable. It really is. This is a pretty big deal because it's shameful for any American to have such little regard for our amazing country that they would actually put another country ahead of America. But when it's a politician who's elected to be a leader for Americans, and you now are putting some other country ahead, who the F are you? Who the hell are you? No one is here. No one puts you in this position for your own personal takes about your love of a foreign country. What do you think, you got elected there because you're Guatemalan? Who the hell? The audacity. Jay Schwalbeck, it's our education system. If you can grow up in America as an anchor baby and love the country your parents came from more than here, you're taught wrong in school and your parents hurt you. Yeah. We don't teach and nearly enough to love America. There's what courses? You tell me, Jim. Did you go through the public school system?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you went through the public school system probably more than a decade ago.
Oh, yes. In the 80s.
In the 80s. So that was actually the heyday of let's go America, rah, 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 right? I mean,
we had to say the Pledge of Allegiance every day. And first thing in the morning, you had to do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah. Every morning. And we also had to sing America the Beautiful every once in a while, too.
That's a healthy thing. That's a healthy thing. America, the left has treated nationalism as if that's inherently an evil.
But I did go to those, it was that extreme right-wing radical public school system called the Chicago public school system.
Okay, but I'm going to point this out. If there's ever been a country in the history of the world where nationalism is not racist, it's America. And the reason that nationalism gets a bad rap is because of what the Germans did with it in the 20th century, and the National Socialist, whatever. But that's why people hate on nationalism. I actually think that nationalism should be the norm in every country. If you're French and if you're a French citizen, you should put France first. And Switzerland, or I guess China, Russia, you should be Russian first. That's what you should be. And if you're American, you should be American first. But if there's ever been a place that it's not remotely a racial thing, it's this country which has accepted more legal immigrants than every other country in world history combined. Now, think about that for a second. This country has accepted more legal immigrants, forget about the illegals, more legal immigrants than every other country on the planet in the history of the world combined. And so, yeah, it's not about a race when you're singing the praises of America. It's about the ideology of being an American. It's about the blessings of liberty that we have here in ways that no other nation can rival. That's what you're preaching about. And yeah, when we have success, whether that success is in sport or in finance or in culture, that is something that we should be proud of. That everyone wants to be us. Everyone wants to know what we're doing, that we're the leader of the pack, the military might, all of it, because it's rooted in the American ideology of a land of opportunity. The fact that we are known throughout the world, the reason everyone comes running here is for two reasons. The two reasons everyone comes running here is this. It's our liberty and the fact that we are a land of opportunity, even for the immigrants. The immigrants themselves know it's a land of opportunity. But yet there's the constant crying from the left about Trump is a fascist and that there's, we need to help these people out because they don't have sufficient access to opportunity. They came here because they know it better than you do. So aggravating. So aggravating. So yeah, you should be very, very proud of our American exceptionalism. You should be very, very proud of your American privilege. And being an American is a massive, mighty privilege, far greater. You're far more fortunate being an American citizen than you were basically being a world leader anywhere in the world 100 years ago.
I like to think I agree with a guy who I'm sure you thought was a great president, a guy by the name of Teddy Roosevelt. And he had opinions on such things. If you want to pull this up.
What do you got? What do you got? What do you got for me?
I got it right here. I got this, right here. See? Pull it up.
Pull it up, Joe.
This is Teddy Roosevelt. So that there could be no divided allegiance here. Any man who says he is an American, but something else also, isn't an American at all. We have room but for one flag, the American flag. We have room for one language.
Yep.
And it's the English language. We have room for but one sole loyalty, and that is loyalty to the American people.
Yep. There you go.
Teddy Roosevelt.
There you go.
He was
based.
He was and the people forget too, like a lot of the stuff we have, like the whole system of the, natural history museums and stuff around the country, it's all because of Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
He established, a lot of the, the reservations.
He shot most of the animals.
Yeah, he shot him and put him in there. He did all this stuff. No, he was a good guy.
He was a hunter, right?
Yeah.
I always picture him with a shotgun.
Yeah, he used to go on all stuff. He went to, he did a lot of can hunting in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. All right. What do we have up next?
Okay, so this is from the editorial board of the Chicago Tribune, that far right-wing paper.
Okay.
It says, words matter when you're elected to represent America, Congressman Ramirez.
All right.
When a member of Congress publicly declares allegiance to another country.
I'm going to stop for a second. I love you, and I'm going to teach you to read. Okay, seriously. This is from here and in your own show. Okay, and this is to anyone who's going to be a podcaster. I'm saying this totally 100% constructively. I want you to read it as if your audience is blind. like so that a blind person listening will understand what you're expressing. I understand that, and I do the same thing sometimes because your natural tendency is to think, boop, 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 it's flowing there. But I'm telling you now, if you do it that way, because I want to sit here, I want to be watching the chat. I don't want to be reading, and that's why I want you to like read it to me and like as if like and you know, some of my listeners may literally be blind, so like I want them to like actually, you know, read it as if you're reading it to a blind person.
Okay. When a member of Congress publicly declares allegiance to another country over the United States, it's bound to raise eyebrows, and
Nice.
for good reason. That's what happened when U.S. Rep. Delia Ramirez, speaking at an event in Mexico City, said, "I'm a proud Guatemalan before I'm an American."
Bitch.
Ramirez, whose district stretches from DuPage County to Chicago's northwest side, has since attempted to clarify her intent, saying on X that honoring my Guatemalan ancestry only strengthens my commitment to America.
That's crap. That is you don't say I'm a Guatemalan first and say that's strengthening your commitment to America. That's an outright lie. Bitch, go on.
That's a message we can all embrace, but the damage was already done. At a time when trust in public officials is already fragile, statements like hers erode confidence and invite exactly the kind of backlash that she is facing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's begin with this clear point. Calls to deport Ramirez are not baseless. She should be deported immediately.
Yes.
Yeah. She was not born in Chicago, but she's fundamentally un-American. This nation's legacy is built on welcoming immigrants who come here legally, not
Hear,
people
hear.
who sneak across the border to have a kid.
Yeah.
We celebrate diverse backgrounds, and they help shape our national identity, but not like this. Even so, we take issue with this Congresswoman's comments, which cross the line between honoring heritage and undermining public trust. Federal officials are elected to represent their constituents here in the United States, not celebrate people in foreign lands. And such, they should not champion other countries, especially when speaking abroad on foreign soil. Statements that cast doubt on their loyalty
By the
to
way,
the U.S. are
that's
damaging and irresponsible.
That's a great point, by the way, because the reason she's doing that is because she's trying to appeal to her audience. And I think she figured no one would know. I think she figured it would slide by and it would never get caught. And
She was in Mexico City, and you know who she was in Mexico City with?
Who?
Ilhan Omar,
Of course.
Rashida Tlaib,
Of course. The squad.
the squad.
And she wants to be like the fifth member.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Go on.
Yeah. As a nation of immigrants, many Americans feel deep affection for their ancestral homelands. In Chicago, pride is in cultural roots from Mexico to Poland and beyond. There's a long history enriched in the city, but Americans expect their leaders to conform their beliefs and allegiance to this country while extolling their lineage. Well, yeah, but you could still be a proud, whatever you are, but you're an American first.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. No, that's the way I would actually, the one thing I would disagree with Teddy Roosevelt is I don't have a problem with her being Guatemalan second. He was basically saying your loyalty is exclusively to America. I mean, frankly, for a political leader, we should have a higher yardstick than for Americans. I don't have a problem with Americans who are basically, are going to put their, they refer to themselves, let's say, as Italian American, Irish American, Pakistani American, Indian American. I don't have a problem with that at all, because there the first word is a qualifier and the real noun is that you're American, right? It's sort of like the you're using your native country.
When
as
did
an
all that
adjective.
start, though? Because nobody ever considered himself a Polish American or an Italian American or any of these things back in the World War I time, World War II time. Even when people would come, new people would come to the country, when all the immigrants came from Europe in the turn of the century and stuff and flooded New York and all through Ellis Island, they didn't say we were Italian Americans or Polish Americans or German Americans. They said they were Americans. They were proud. No, this is my new country. This is my country. Even the people that were fresh off the boat were like, no, I'm American now.
Yeah.
They came here because they wanted to be American.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
I want to address. Yeah, and I have no problem with them still basking in their heritage, though. I don't think there's I don't have a problem with that. Like I think that's as long as the primacy. That's the key thing to me. The primacy has to be on the fact that you're an American. Like that's where you gotta. That's where you got it. That's where it's got to go. So, Yeah, it's very, very aggravating. I saw this one yokel in the chat was saying how I left off that list Israeli American. Yeah, why what is the difference? Why would I specifically call that one out? But yeah,
Well, I mean,
I don't
and I
problem,
don't-
I don't
I-
problem someone being an Israeli American either.
But,
It's
but
like this,
in reality, I don't think that's a fair representation because I mean, because there's okay, let's be honest. There's all Israelis are not Jewish,
that's true.
so they're trying to do that to be like sneaky about it and say like, oh, you're Israeli. What they really mean is you didn't say Jewish American,
Yeah.
which you don't say Catholic American, do you? So why would you say Jewish American? Right?
Yeah. No,
know,
frankly,
like-
you probably should say an American Catholic. Because the one thing I would say is that your religion. I have no problem with someone saying that the religion comes first. That I'm okay with, because I don't think that your nationality is a religion. So I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, it's things are anytime you say anything related. I don't even have to say anything related specifically to Israel, but like this topic has become something that is just like, as much as I've tried avoiding it, and I have so desperately tried avoiding this topic. The only time I really talk about it at all is when my father comes on. That's because of his background in Middle Eastern history. But by and large, I've avoided this topic left and right. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you all a heads up. That's about to change. Okay. I'm going to be a lot more direct. I'm going to be a lot more overt about just how screwed up the people supporting Palestinians are. And if you don't like it, I don't care. I'm sorry. You can watch. You can tell me I'm wrong. You can disagree. Same way you can disagree with me in theory about my position about flags or about abortion in theory. I don't care. Or
Did
you
you
can
hear
just say,
that? Did you hear MIT proved you right that Einstein was wrong?
I heard about this. Were you the one who shared that with me?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. You can disagree with me. Eventually you'll learn that you're mistaken. So, it might take some time. It might be next week, next month, or in 10 years, but eventually you'll see. So
I guess my point was that when people say like, oh, you're saying like Israeli Americans, like in reality, there's more Jewish people living in the United States than in Israel, right?
in reality, what was that?
There's more Jewish people living in the United States than there are in Israel.
Probably. I mean, I'm not sure. It's probably close.
Close.
It's probably close. There's a lot. There are a lot of Jews living here.
I just don't like the way that, like you could. I don't like the way that people conflate being Jewish with Israeli. I think it's completely different.
It's stupidly different when you consider that there's 2 million Arabs living in Israel. So in that sense, it's just ignorant. But there we go. That's what I'm saying. Is I wouldn't even have a problem with you saying American Baptist. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with you saying that, because I think there's nothing wrong. If you tell me your commitment to God comes before your commitment to country, that's fine. It's only that when you're having commitments of one country versus another, that's where I think that primacy must be in your American status. If you're telling me that your commitment is, is in theory to your spouse, and that takes primacy over your nationality, I'm totally fine with that. If you tell me your commitment to your religion is strong, has primacy, I have no problem with that either. If someone's profession takes primacy, I have no problem with that either. I'm simply saying that when it comes specifically to your nationality, that's where your primacy should be in the fact that you're an American. So,
as far as I know, you've never said like you're not a fan of these dual loyalty Congress people, right?
No. The dual loyalty Congress people are a serious problem, because the whole point to you being elected is you're supposed to be looking out for the best interests of your constituents, whether that's on a local level, a municipal level, a state level, a federal level, whatever level it is. You're supposed to be looking out for their interests. They put you in that position for that. And even if you come from a place, people will say Ilhan Omar, that she's Somalian and that she's got a whole bunch of Somalians living in her district. That's nice. There's also a lot of people who are not from Somalia. So you need to be looking out for all of your constituents, whether or not they happen to be your nationality. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so a lot of people will have, you should be giving primacy to your spouse over your nation also, or your kids. So, someone wants to refer to themselves as an American dad. The primacy then is the qualifier there is the American, and the noun is the dad. I have no problem with that either.
Is that
American
a TV
Mom?
show, American Dad?
I think so.
Guy was a CIA agent or something. The cartoon, I think so.
I don't remember. I don't remember that.
Like,
I don't-
I think so.
I don't remember that. Anyway, let's get.
There's
Let's.
still some more about this, about what's going on with this congressman. So you got
Is there?
members of Congress calling
right.
for, Congressman Andy Ogles calls for Democrat Rep Delia Ramirez to be kicked off the House Homeland Security Committee, denaturalized, and deported. I personally think if we're going to say that, the people, if you're not a lawful permanent resident in the country, if you're not, subject to the jurisdiction of the country that you have, and neither parents are citizens or whatever, that you're not a citizen. So then we should to say like, oh, we don't want to look retroactively to people, but why not? Why wouldn't we go back and say, nope, you're not a citizen?
So I had this like on this topic, on the concept of her being denaturalized. So she's born American, right? I mean, she was an anchor baby. Her mother becomes naturalized through her, but she herself was born an American, right? Through the stupid birthright citizenship thing, sure. But she was born an American. And because of freedom of speech concerns, I would say that she should not be, I would disagree about denaturalizing her. Now, I would say that someone who's not born an American, someone who becomes naturalized, I have problems with them expressing that type of sentiment, because then I question whether their naturalization process is pledging fealty to America. So there, I have a tough time trying to set a bright line rule there, because I think that once they're naturalized, they're entitled to the same freedom of speech that you or I, who are born here, are blessed with. So it's kind of a sketchy line to try walking down in that type of realm. Meaning,
when they come in and they take the oath and they say that they become a citizen, aren't they supposed to be denouncing any loyalty to any other country?
Precisely. That's precisely correct. But someone who's born here is not denouncing loyalty and not here because of their pledge. The point you're getting at really is this: the way you're earning your American citizenship when you're an immigrant is in part through your pledge of fealty to America. So if you then revert back, you now should not. We should question the ability for you to retain that citizenship. That's very different from someone who is born in this country, who now and has from the womb they have citizenship in this country. Let's say their parents are American citizens. So in that scenario, you didn't have to pledge fealty in order to get your citizenship. And that's why I would think that if someone who's an American citizen says, I love Russia more than America, or I love, Brazil more than America, that I don't think that should affect your citizenship status because of our freedom of speech. But as I'm saying this, I'm fully cognizant of the fact that what I'm really advocating for is two different yardsticks, depending for naturalized versus citizens from birth. And I think that philosophically it makes sense what I'm saying, and perhaps there should be a distinction that, look, you're American in every single way except in one thing, which is you have to maintain that fealty to America. That's how you got here. That's the only reason you have this status. So since she was born, so I would say if her mother did it, my personal perspective, when they say, Joe, rewrite all the rules for how America will operate, and when Americans come together and unanimously say we need good logic to rewrite all the rules for how our country is going to operate, I will make that distinction between naturalized citizens and those who were born with citizenship. I would get rid of birthright citizenship. I don't think that being born here is a base of citizenship. But I'm saying if you're here, if your citizenship comes because your parents are American, and that's how you're retaining your citizenship, I would say that you have a more unfettered freedom of speech in that one regard, which is that person who's coming from a different country has to maintain that fealty to America over all other countries. And if they were to renounce that or have a change of heart, right? If they have a change of heart, maybe they meant it when they first said it, and 5 years later they come here and they're like, oh, wow, I really like 6 other countries more than this country. Well, F off. Goodbye. We don't need you. So in that sense, they would have a more limited freedom of speech. To me, if I was rewriting the rules for America, that is one thing I would change. What are your thoughts on that, though?
Well, I would think that I agree, but as far as her being in Congress and being on committees and not removed from Congress, I think that's a totally separate issue. Like
that
they
is 100%. Yes,
yeah, like they could, like they took. If you don't know if you remember Steve King, the guy that was like from Iowa, he was a Republican a couple years back, and he said something stupid like "I am a white nationalist" or something like. I shouldn't have said. Now someone's going to clip that, but he said that. All right. Wait, now someone's going to clip that, and I'm going to be screwed. But anyway,
good logic.
He said that.
Good Logic does not endorse or support any of the messages of our co-hosts. Please bear in mind that the opinions expressed here are uniquely his own, and they are not in any way reflective of the host or this channel.
Yeah. Well, he said it was something along those lines. Is what Steve King said, and they stripped him of all, took him off all the committees and everything, and tried to expel him out of Congress. I can't remember, but it wasn't even like that. It was something like, "Well, I'm white and I'm a nationalist," or something like that. I don't know what he said exactly, but and I don't know if maybe he is a Nazi or something. I don't know him personally, and I don't know any of his stuff. He's not my congressman. I never followed him, but it seemed weird to me. Like the way they acted with it, and then what they did with Santos too. How they booted Santos out so fast. It's like, wait, can't we boot other people out then?
There are 2 N words you're never supposed to say on YouTube. You know that, right? What?
Oh, I said them.
Well, no, you didn't say the one everyone knows.
Oh.
But you used the second one. So yeah, you're not. I don't think you're supposed to say Nancy on YouTube.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know Nancy was a problem.
Nancy, yeah. If you say it like that, I think you get away with it.
Okay.
But yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I agree with you as far as removing her from Congress. 100%. She should be out. Quick,
definitely shouldn't be on the Homeland Security Council or whatever. Yeah,
unbelievable. Yeah, she should definitely be stripped of every committee she's on. She should be stripped of.
Yeah, Stephen Hillard's right. It was Steve King Jr.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to deal with this whole junior thing for quite a while, I think.
Well, I think I'm gonna be hearing about this a lot. I'm gonna be feeling the brunt of this in the. Yeah, I'm sure in the comments down below, people will be listing off all the other juniors that I missed. Carl's Jr. Gosh. Yeah. But I am curious what you guys think about my thoughts that there should be 2 different yardsticks on freedom of speech, depending on whether or not you're naturalized, and that they should have complete freedom of speech in every other way, but for maintaining their fealty to America. So, yeah. Anyway, and you can drop a comment. I do check comments, so you can drop a comment down below if you're watching afterwards, because roughly 50% of my viewers will watch after I wrap up. So that's what comes from being a late night host. All right. So
there's this one thing too. If you want to pull this up real quick, just to show you, this is who this lady is. Also, it's just that Tlaib and Omar were in Mexico City with her, and you could see where she met with Mohammed Khalil, and said he was a great guy and all that stuff. And
moral clarity.
This is what it does: moral clarity and committing to working together to realize our collective liberation.
Oh,
so
God.
she wants to be liberated from something.
Yeah, our collective liberation.
And then here she is with the 2024 annual CARE banquet with Linda Sarsour.
Of course. Terrorist sympathizer Linda Sarsour. Junior bacon cheeseburger isn't real bacon. I don't know. Is it? Have you ever had junior bacon cheeseburger?
I have no idea.
I don't even know I don't even know where you order that. So, yeah, you stumped me on that one. You stumped me on that one.
Where's that? Was that in the chat?
Yeah, that was fellas.
Oh, okay.
So.
Oh, okay. I get. So he's saying because it's a junior, it's not the real bacon. It's its own like bacon, son of bacon.
Yeah, that went past me. Ken Griffey Jr. doesn't count. He had to distinguish himself from his dad. So, yeah.
What about Whopper Jr.?
I see you people in the chat Jim tells you, Junior. I see you with your Louis Gossett Juniors. There's not going to be an end to this. I'm going to hear about this for a while. Ah, well, I made this bet. I'll lie in it. So, what do we got next?
We have another story if you want to keep going.
I would love it.
All right, so I don't know if you know, there's this governor in Minnesota by the name of Tim Walz.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. So I don't know. I know very little about this story. At the intro, I was explaining to you all about how like I had nothing, and then he gave me this Walz thing, and I really know nothing more than the title. So he's going to read to me.
I'm going to read to you. This is also
like I'm a 1960s child watching airplanes and going airplanes, and I'm gonna be interacting with you all and giving my thoughts as we go through this. So walk me through. You mentioned something about a spy also, right?
Oh, that was in yesterday's stuff. There was.
It's all good. It's all gravy.
I'll bring it up after this. But
all right.
Yeah, where the FBI and stuff, they knew about him. But so we have this breaking news.
This is true. I don't.
Breaking: Minnesota has shut down its housing stabilization services after the FBI uncovered over $100 million in Medicaid fraud, with nearly 80 providers billing the state for fake housing services, but no one has yet been charged.
Wait, Medicaid housing? I thought Medicaid would be health.
Somehow they were doing something and they were charging for housing. They had some kind of services where they were charging through housing. So
that's weird. Okay. Tell me more.
Wait, what's going on here? Oh, that's not the right one. Wait. How did that get there?
I don't know. I'm getting nervous. What happened?
Somehow. Okay, I must have moved it. All right, never mind. So here we go. We got this. Minnesota just lost $100 million pretending to fix housing while pretending not to notice the fraud. This is what happens when your government cares more about woke optics than real oversight. Minnesota handed out money like candy under the name of housing stabilization. And surprise, 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 nearly 80 providers lined up to bill for services that did not exist.
I wonder how many of them were giving kickbacks to the government.
Yeah, 100 million taxpayer dollars gone, and not one person's been charged. Imagine that. If you or I did it, we'd be in handcuffs before lunch. But when it's government-sanctioned incompetence wrapped in a social justice label, accountability becomes optional. How do you run a program that lets 80 fake providers eat off the system without a single red flag?
I'll bet you anything Tim Walz was like proudly touting how they've given these hundreds of millions to for housing.
Getting people off the streets.
Yeah, he's getting people off the street.
There was a story the other day about Karen Bass is running around saying she's cleaning up the homeless encampments. All right. And they're showing we got 70 people off the street. Well, she spent $450 million or something like that. Yeah, $450 million, and they've gotten 1,000 people off the street.
They got how many people?
So 1,000, like just over 1,000. So it's like $450,000 per person they got off the street. So it's like, wait a minute. Yeah, you could have just bought them all houses. Or, $500,000 houses and gave them to them. What did you spend the money on?
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, California. I mean, I hope Harmeet Dillon looks at California and the money that's been someone, maybe not her, but someone in the Justice Department, where the homeless money is gone in California, because you're talking billions and billions of dollars just went up in smoke in California, and there's no accountability at all.
Why is it always when there's a leftist governor? Why?
I don't know.
I feel like I'm not taking up advantage of of Governor Murphy here in Jersey. I feel like I'm there's gold in them thar hills. You just got to go out there. Freaking morals. Go on.
Yeah. So this isn't just a scandal; it's a masterclass on how blue state governance burns money and plays dumb when it gets caught. Nobody's getting arrested because that would mean admitting the whole thing was broken from the start. Minnesota didn't just get robbed; they left the door wide open and offered snacks.
Nice. Do you have a?
I have right here. Look at that. Who's that right there? The state.
Our boy.
State shuts down $107 million.
By the way, he's actually looking slimmer. No?
He is. I don't know what's going on. He is
looking like
similar.
he really has been, he's he looks like he's lost like 50 pounds.
Maybe
lost
he's planning on running for president.
Yeah, perhaps. Maybe those high kicks that he does when he comes out on stage like he's Richard Simmons, like was just exhausting.
Do you have
that
any
big gut of his.
any thoughts on why Kamala Harris decided not to run for governor of California?
I'm glad you brought this up. We should talk about this. Because we'll come back to Tim Walz, but we definitely need to talk about Kamala Harris, because in case you missed it, and we probably don't have any links for it, and that's not anyone's fault other than mine.
I could pull up a link real quick.
But Kamala Harris has decided that she is not going to be running for governor when Newsom runs, his term expires, which I think it expires in 26, right?
Yeah.
So she is not going to be running for governor, and folks speculate that perhaps she's going to be running for president and whatever. But what did she had a quote also, right, about how I want to hear. I remember hearing a quote from her which made me like guffaw. I don't know if you able to pull that up.
Yeah, right here.
All right, let's.
I have something pulled up. I don't know what it is.
We got
exactly,
some. Hopefully, it's gold.
It's from Byron Donald, so it's going to be gold. It says Kamala is officially not running for governor. She will now have even more time to testify before the GOP Oversight Committee regarding the cover-up of Joe Biden's cognitive decline and her administrative autophagy. What did she know? When did she know it? So this must be her talking where she. I don't know
we definitely need to hear this.
Moments ago, former Vice President Kamala Harris will not run for California governor next year, leaving open the possibility that she could mount a third run for the White House in 2028. She said in a statement, over the last 6 months, I have spent time reflecting on this moment in our nation's history and the best way for me to continue fighting for the American people and advancing values and ideals I hold dear. I've given serious thought to asking the people of California for the privilege to serve as their governor. I love this state, its people, and its promise. It's my home. But after deep reflection, I've decided that I will not run for governor in this election. Moments ago, former Vice President Kamala Harris.
So what you really need to find now is what were her polling numbers for governor, because I bet you anything.
No, I think her polling was good, actually.
Was it? I need to see. She's a former presidential candidate. She should be like, the Democratic front runner by like a landslide. Like she should have like 75%. She's in a deeply blue state, and she just ran against Trump.
Yeah, she said she was leading because
she should be like at 75%.
Yeah, she would have been a shoo-in, I think.
She should be, but I don't know. That's why I'm wondering if we actually have a real number, because I'll bet she was nowhere near. My thought is that she's nowhere near 75%.
There's a couple super chats from Jay Swalbeck, but they're about the Tim Walz thing, I believe.
All right, we'll come back to when we get back to Tim Walz. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, she definitely did her own internal polling, and she's like, this is not going to go well. I think that it's very possible that we're never going to hear from her again in public life. That was such a humiliating loss. That was such a landmark loss. And I know it was 107 days and all that other stuff. I actually have a clip.
I know I was reading something before about that she was having a lot of trouble raising money.
Because who the hell would invest? How many times can you double and triple down on this bitch? She's lousy. She was never a strong candidate. She was going up. Look, let's face it. She was going up against a juggernaut, given the fact that after all the criminal charges, which got everything really jump started for Trump 2.0, because he was dead in the water. I mean, he was not popular in 2021. People were tired of hearing him complain. 2022 rolled around. He is not popular. And then they just started trying to prosecute him. And that built so much sympathy for him and so much love. And then with the attempted assassinations, she was running into a juggernaut. That was a chainsaw. And she's like trying to fight a chainsaw with her fists. And she had no chance. But it's also because she's just a terrible, Terrible candidate. She's not a good candidate in any way, shape, or form. She's not coherent. She doesn't have any sort of baseline of values. She's there's nothing about her that's appealing short of the fact that she's a dark-skinned woman. I mean, she has a CV, a resume, which is the sort of thing they love to throw at us. Here's the thing about the left in general. They care far less about accomplishment than they do and title than they do about care far less about accomplishment than they care about your resume. And your resume is just a list of what jobs you've held rather than what you've done in those jobs. Think about this. Name an accomplishment of Hillary Clinton. Name one accomplishment, something that she did.
She got a bunch of people killed in Benghazi.
I'm saying something that she would proudly state, this is something I did.
Oh, the one thing I know that she was proud of, she said, we came, we saw, he died.
Yeah. Which is that really her? Is that really her? Right. So she's talking about Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, no, she was talking about that was Gaddafi. But she
that was it?
Yeah, it was Gaddafi. I don't know, like she sold uranium to the Russians, but I don't really know what she did besides she stole a lot of money from Haitians. I know that.
No one knows what she did. No, because she didn't do anything. You can't find anything that she did. She was terrible. She was as a first lady, she was tasked with overhauling our healthcare system. Failed. Then she took hot off the heels of that failure, she became New York State senator. And
she was very lucky that plane crash happened, that she was able to become senator too, because that would have been John Kennedy Jr.'s seat. That would have been John Boyce. Likely, yeah. And it was good fortune. She had very good fortune about that death. It was pure luck that just worked out for her. 100% luck. But yeah, all she had is one scandal after another. She had, Whitewater scandal and her Clinton Foundation scandal and Benghazi scandal, and she's far more famous for any scandals, and she's famous for her titles and her scandals. She's Secretary of State. No one knows what the hell she accomplished in that role other than Benghazi. She's just been a disaster, and yet she was the head and shoulders. No one can run against her in 2016. She was head and shoulders going back to 2008. And then she had more scandals, and now she's like, oh, obviously she's why?
I think that was mostly because, that was just because of all the money, and that the Clinton Global Initiative was basically tied up with Soros and USAID, and there was this whole thing where they were getting money and paying people off, and it was, they perfected the graft, the what's it called, the corporate capitalism or whatever it is, or not crony capitalism thing that they would do, basically that, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff talking about Bill Clinton was involved with the CIA back when they were running cocaine through Mena, Arkansas, when he was governor.
Right.
So I don't know. Who knows?
But the point I'm getting at is that the left in general loves to tout someone's job history as a basis to hire them, rather than what did they do while they were performing that task, when they were in that role. And that's what they're doing with Kamala. But she was really just a lousy candidate. She doesn't speak coherently. She has no likability. And that's all. Hillary's same thing. Zero likability. You feel uncomfortable watching. Everything sounds awkward and fake. But look at her resume. Oh my God, what an amazing woman. It's hilarious. It's such an affront to women. Because there are so many women that are talented and accomplished and capable, but they don't care about that. They don't care about that at all. This is what Kamala was.
Just over a year ago, I launched my campaign for President of the United States. 107 days, which is not 106 days or 108 days. But 107, which is a big number, But it was the shortest campaign in presidential history, which makes sense for someone with the smallest vocabulary in presidential history.
and I think he really nails it. I think he nails it. I think that, yeah. Oh, God, she was so terrible. So she's not running. She's not running, and she's gone. And I'll tell you, I would not be surprised if she doesn't run for president. I don't think that her polling numbers are going to look good there. I think right now she's thinking, I can't run for governor and then start running a campaign 2 days later to become president. Perhaps that's what she's thinking. She's not going to have enough money for that, and she can't get supporters, and there's no USAID for her to leech off of any, to funnel money to her. So how many times can she go to ActBlue with the losing record that she's got? So I think that she looked at what her potential donors were, and she's like, this is a disaster. And she's going to try and figure some way to try raise money for a presidential run. But let's get back to Tim Walz.
There's citing credible allegations of fraud and exponential growth in spending, the Department of Human Services asked the federal government for assistance in terminating a state housing program, according to a letter signed by the DHS temporary commissioner Shireen Gandhi. Released Friday.
So they went to the federal government and said, "Hey, we need to end this program, and we need your help to end this program."
That's what it sounds. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why wouldn't the state be able to end their own program?
Because they're too incompetent. That's why.
Yeah, can you shut the faucet off? We don't know how this end works over here.
We don't know what to do here.
Just money just keeps coming, and just stop sending the money.
So Walz went to Trump and said, "Please help me." That's what the headline is. Walz saying to Trump, "Please help me."
This is crazy. It says the end of the Housing Stabilization Services Program, which resides under the umbrella of the federal state Medicaid program, comes after Governor Walz on Monday said his administration halted payments to 50 of the largest providers. Federal investigators say the program has become the source of a massive fraud scheme. Gandhi's letter says,
"Can you imagine if he was running the government, there'd be no one to bail him out? If he was vice president, oh my God, like who would bail out your screw ups then? We'll go to China. Can you please help us? Because we don't know how to fix this problem." Oh my God. Wow. What an incompetent. Go on.
Yeah, so the Gandhi's letter to the Federal Centers for Medicaid and CHIP Services. So CHIP is the supplement housing and it's CHIP. Yeah, it's like SNAP, but it's for housing. CHIP. DHS Office of Inspector General has suspended payment to 77 housing stabilization providers. What does housing stabilization mean? Stabilizing the costs or stabilizing the rents, something like that. So it's like Section 8, maybe?
77 housing stabilization providers. I assume those are like developers of real estate. So they get funded by the government. That's what I would guess. If someone in the chat knows better, I am scanning the chat, but I assume these are potential developers who got funding from the government through CHIP. And
so CHIP is Child Health Insurance Program.
Oh, sorry, through this Medicaid thing. And
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So CHIP, for some reason, I thought it was housing, but it's not. It's Child Health Insurance Program. So why the housing money was going through that?
Okay, so what I'm gathering from this, and maybe we should click on Gandhi's letter and we can better understand what he was saying. While you're doing that, let me pull up some of the chats that came in here. J.H. Schwalbeck saying, "It's true. I run a property management company, and Medicare is handing out checks to the Alliance Insurance Program, $5,000 per person I've dealt with, about 65 of them since the beginning of the year." That's crazy. Why is Medicare? This is Medicaid, though, right?
Yeah, Medicaid's different.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised to hear that they're run similarly. They can use the money to pay deposit, first month's rent, and any kind of furniture or other things they need to move in. Medicaid is wrecked in Minnesota. I can see it from the front lines. Apartment owners are brokering deals with tenants that are not working. Plus, Walmart is Somalia. The big Democratic donors got burned. Don't want her. Yeah, I agree. I think they're done with her. I think they're through. Kamala Harris had the appeal of Hillary Clinton with none of the intelligence. That's true. Hillary actually was smarter. She is a smarter person. And yeah, it's like they basically traded down for darker skin. figuring, let's hope people will think she's black. Dear Joe and Jim, could you please share my gift saying go Kimmy Guy? I've lost my my last internal treatment on Friday. Thank you. Yes.
I was looking for it. I couldn't find it.
It's give saying go Kimmy Guy.
Oh, Kimmy Guy. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I was looking for Kimmy Hunt. I wonder.
Yeah.
Here it is. I got it. Okay.
So, can you put it in the chat?
Yeah, I get it right now.
Cool. Those who are unaware, Kimmy is battling cancer and kicking its ass. She's like becoming like the role model for this is how you beat cancer. So go, Kimmy. The amount of damage she did with her email server to both Obama and National Security and the MSM covered for her because Trump bad is the amount of damage she did with her email server to both Obama and National Security, and still the MSM mainstream media covered for her because Trump bad is infuriating. It is. It's very, very infuriating. Although I really don't. Her email server was the exposure. I don't think that. I don't think there was a leak. I think the leak was someone who worked in her office named Seth Rich. I don't think that she was hacked. So
there was no hack.
There was. I don't think there was ever a hack there at all. I don't think that happened. And Rosellian says, Joe, I found you a job in D.C. Judge Jeanine is offering people prosecution jobs in D.C. She needs like 90 of them and 60 investigators. Also, I know how to fix D.C. crime. You go after the leaders and the people doing the crime with RICO charges. Gangs are no different than the mob is. You really think I want to have a job in D.C.?
Oh, J.H. Welbeck says housing stabilization advisors are like the United Way, Catholic Charities, and local government agencies.
God. Everyone's got their racket, I guess. Yeah, I'm not really looking to move to DC. My soul is too precious to me for me to move to DC, and I don't think that my soul would fare well there. So
here's the letter that they sent to the acting director for the Center for Medicaid and CHIP Services in Baltimore, Maryland. Dear Miss Knapp.
All right,
make it bigger,
tiny bit. All right, that's good.
On behalf of the state of Minnesota and the Department of Human Services, I'm reaching out to request assistance with terminating the state's housing stabilization benefit authorized under Statute 1915I of the Social Security Act and in effect since August 2018. This action is necessary to safeguard Medicaid enrollees and protect the fiscal integrity of Minnesota's Medicaid program. Wouldn't that be wouldn't that be up to the state to do? Like, why do you need to?
I'm guessing that there's a federal agency that's specifically designed to help with this type of scenario. That's what I'm gathering. It's not like they're like this, because this is likely something that comes up frequently, and they're like, okay, if you're really effed up in how you're running your state, we'll be there to try to help you sort through it. So it's not like I think that it's addressed to the acting. Who's it addressed to? You have something blocking. I can't see. Caprice. What?
Oh, what did I do? How did I do that? What?
I don't know.
Sorry.
Caprice Knapp, acting director of Center Medicaid and CHIP Services. So I'm guessing that that's a federal agency which specifically designed that the services they probably have a department in there which is used to dealing with this sort of thing. So
used to dealing with massive amounts of fraud.
Yeah, you think that? I'm sure Minnesota's not the first state that's ever happened, right? So
I don't know. So the DHS Office of Inspector General has suspended payment to 77 housing stabilization providers this year based on credible allegations of fraud. The FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office have initiated criminal investigations.
This guy this guy must be the biggest sucker on earth. He's either crooked or he's a sucker. I'm talking about Tim Walz, because he had the same thing with COVID handouts, that he had all sorts of fraud that was happening with his COVID handouts. So either he's either incompetent or he's crooked, meaning he's either taking siphoning some of this money for himself, or He's just a complete and total boob that he looks like he is. You see the guy, he looks like someone who's just an outright boob.
I'm wondering if this has any connection to that assassination stuff. Remember that guy? It was obviously, we thought he was getting money, must have been from USAID or something. The guy that was in the Congo. I'm just wondering if there's.
It's about Mangione? Mangione's victim?
No. The guy that killed the politicians in Minnesota. That says that Tim Walz hired him.
Yeah. Right. That was who killed 2 Democrat legislators. I think
right.
he had. Yeah. He wrote a whole. We read his manifesto letter, which was basically saying that Tim Walz wanted him to go do something illegal. So I'm angry.
Tim Walz wanted him to take out Amy Klobuchar or something.
Right. I'm not putting too much into what I read from that guy. I'm not putting too much into that.
Yeah, so this is basically this letter saying, help us do this to close it out. That's about it. So prompt attention, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Getting all necessary information. The team is working to identify supports available to those served by the benefit. But it looks like that the benefit was being just taken by some. So but here's, we'll go back to this one, which is earlier this month, the FBI raided 5 Minnesota businesses that have received millions in Medicaid money for services they did not provide. According to the unsealed warrants, the Housing Stabilization Services Program is intended to help older adults and people with disabilities find and maintain housing. Okay, so that's probably why it's through Medicaid, because it's people with disabilities or people that are on, like on Medicare or can't stuff. So
yeah,
since its inception, the program's growth has exploded. Star Tribune reported recently, because there was a whole thing too. I don't know if you saw, there was another story when it was I think it was autism maybe or something like that in Minnesota, where like.
Yeah, the reason it's exploded is because if you suck at weeding out fraud, it's going to explode. It's kind of like if you become notoriously bad at protecting the border, all of a sudden there's 200,000 people streaming across it. But
like it says in 2017, they expected the cost to be $2.6 million a year, but by 2024 the cost was $107 million.
Oh my God, it's so bad. It's so bad. He's so inept. He's so utterly inept. Yeah.
So Thompson said recently that when current
I'm a knucklehead. What can I do? Well, I'm a knucklehead. Yeah.
That the failure to program in concert with the hundreds of millions lost via other programs is sure to become a political fodder, especially should Walz run for a third term.
Oh, they have third terms there.
Yeah, Thompson said recently that when his current investigations are finished, fraud in programs administered by Minnesota could exceed $1 billion.
Wow.
From pandemic era food aid program known as
Told you
Feeding
about
Our
that.
Future. Yeah. State's autism program and rapidly increasing subs. You want to read about that one too? That's the autism program that went like crazy. Like they're like, oh, and it's like, wait, everyone has autism?
Yeah. God. My God. What an utter disaster. He's like the poster child for everything wrong with the left. Terrible policies, terrible implementation, money drain, waste, and a sucker. Like he's the poster child for like, this is why people say go woke, go broke. Because you're so short-sighted, so utterly short-sighted that you're basically the personification of a fool and his money. With
soon to be parted. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right.
The fraud crisis did not just come out of nowhere. It's the result of widespread failure across nearly every level of leadership in Minnesota. Politicians who turned a blind eye, agencies that failed to act, and prosecutors and law enforcement who didn't push hard enough. Yeah, because you got to think, who's the Attorney General of Minnesota? It's that guy, Keith Ellison.
Nice.
And reporters ignored the story. Community leaders who stayed silent, and a public that wanted to believe it couldn't happen there. Walz will argue he took decisive action once evidence of fraud began to emerge in the housing program.
Oh, yeah. Look, hey, let me tell you something. Once the horses have left the barn, the few people are better than there's no one you want as much as you want a Democrat to tell you just how securely they lock the doors. They're gonna tell you how they securely lock the doors, unless of course they think they can blame the doors being open on the Republican. But as soon as the horses are like 6 miles away, they're and they fled the barn. They're really great at telling you, oh my God, we locked down that barn. Oh my, you should see it. There's a big old freaking bolt lock there. No one's gonna break through that. No. Such a freaking loser. And so I almost don't understand. I've lost sympathy for people who still identify as being left. That at a certain point you have to take accountability for your own stupidity.
Yeah, this is a good point here too. In the wake of the Feeding Our Future scandal, Walz and his administration faced years of criticism for being slow to act despite red flags about the program.
Yeah.
Even when the state's Department of Education, which administered the food aid program, sought to stop payment to some suspicious vendors, they got sued in court and won.
Unbelievable.
So the people sued them and said, and basically, so the same judges that are basically trying to tell Trump he's got to keep paying stuff because they're like, wait, we got to stop fraud. They're same thing in Minnesota. They're suing. And
he's basically he's a professional at sucking ass. That's what it is. Speaking of which, was there a spy scandal also that I missed?
There was. I'll have to get to it. 1 second. That one. Okay. U.S. attorney. Yeah, so, well, this is just real quick. It says the U.S. attorney says that Minnesota government fraud could exceed $1 billion. So I have to keep an eye on that. So give me 1 second. I'll pull up the next ones here.
It could exceed $1 billion. Yeah, if they're telling us it's 107 million, the bill at the end of the day is going to be a lot freaking higher than that because you start noticing patterns of fraud, but you're only catching some of the patterns. So yeah, I agree. How $1 billion? How much do they spend on this Medicaid program? Like I thought they said it was going to cost 2.4 million a year. How much are they spending?
Billions.
How is that possible? How do they come up with the money for it?
The federal government pays for it. They get reimbursed for a lot of it. That's the thing. Like they always say, like all the lies that they were saying, how no illegals get Medicaid. It's like,
so we're paying for his incompetence. Of course. He's not president, and we're still paying for his incompetence. My God, what a freaking disaster! Wow.
Yeah. This is breaking news. FBI and DHS documents uncovered by Judicial Watch show the Biden administration covered up U.S. counterintelligence concerns about the Tim Walz's connections to communist China. This is a major scandal.
Oh, so this is the other story with Tim Walz that came out this week. Yeah. China's Judicial Watch.
China is happy.
Go for it.
China very happy.
Super delicious happy.
Yeah. China is happy. Emails reveal Biden DHS. And now, if I remember correctly, this story is like real hard. Like the way they wrote the story is super hard to follow.
Oh, good. So I'll walk you through it. I'll do my best to try and figure it out with you. Yeah. Let's do it. If it's hard to follow, it's all the more reason that I feel like it's good for me to bring it up.
Well, no, I'm saying like this section. There's a better one that was like I think this one is better. Hold on, that it's the same story, but it's just the news. Did a little better writing it. You know what I mean? As opposed to that from Judicial Watch. Like the way Judicial Watch did it was like the way they wrote it. It was basically like listing all these different things with acronyms and stuff. And I was like, what does this mean? I tried reading it the other night and I'm like, I'll pull it up and show you. But it's like, look, like if you look at like where it's like Judicial Watch announced today that it received 47 pages of dot records from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
All right, read it proper, and I'm going to tell you what it means. I'm going to decipher it for you. Let's do it. I'm not even looking. I'm not looking.
Judicial Watch announced today it received 47 pages of records from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, in a Freedom of Information Act FOIA lawsuit about Governor Tim Walz's connections to the Chinese Communist Party.
All right.
DHS and FBI counterintelligence investigation into Walz's CCP connections determined that China is happy with Walz being selected as Kamala Harris's running mate on the 2024 Democratic presidential ticket.
So apparently the DHS was aware of this, that China was happy that he's a potential vice president. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. And that's it. It says Walz's connections to the CCP were extensive and a concern to the intelligence community, according to the documents.
I think he visited there, right? Like 20 times or something.
35 times he went there. He had 35 trips paid for by the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah.
all the and it's very. I mean, most people don't realize it's like $5,000 for a round trip ticket to China.
What? Who's paying for it?
China paid for it.
What is the explanation for that?
I know. He started going there. He was bringing, and like they were paying for like he was bringing students with him and everything.
Why would they be funding him coming there unless they felt that he's doing a good job of promoting communism?
If that's what he was doing.
Yeah. Okay. This really didn't get nearly enough attention during the campaign.
No, it didn't.
And part of the reason is because he's the vice president, not presidential candidate. And the other part is there were so many problems with Kamala that it was more important to bash her, and so many things that are more glaring and known. But it's interesting that what the part of the story that's interesting is that DHS was aware of his deep ties to China and basically helped bury it from us. So go on. Let's hear more.
Yeah, all the documents and communications in the DHS Microsoft Teams group chat, the NFT biweekly sync from July 1st, 2024 to present, including all accompanying, uploaded, or embedded attachments and documents referring or relating to Minnesota Governor Tim J. Walz or the office and staff of Governor Walz. This is what I mean. It's like reading, like, is this what the request was? Maybe that's why I read it. Maybe this is what they were requesting.
Yeah, well, let me read that one more time.
Oh no, this is what you're saying. This is what the request was for. What they were asking for.
Yeah.
So it says on email dated August 6, 2024, the day Walz was officially named vice president nominee, shows Homeland Security personnel discussing how they were aware Communist China had a plan to target politicians likely to end up in D.C., specifically Walz and Nevada's Joe Lombardo.
Wow.
You know, and I also point out that this also piggybacks, in my opinion, with what the Chinese were doing with those driver's licenses and the ballots and stuff. That, you know, they found those 50,000 licenses that were, you know, and the whole thing about the FBI buried data about that China was going to try and cheat help the election.
Yeah, which was what we were all very concerned about, considering reports about some of the things, allegations about things that potentially happened in 2020. So, all right, go on.
A Homeland Security official whose name is redacted states, Walz got the VP. You all have no idea how these feeds into what PRC, People's Republic of China, has been doing here with him and local government. It's a serious line of intel. Target someone who is perceived they can get to DC. And then another official responds, this speaks to the RIN, raw intelligence you reviewed for us. So they must have raw intelligence about something with China and Walz. Where is that? Why hasn't that come out? Someone else adds that the perception narrative that has been pushed with one of the local NGOs had direct ties to the former governor here in Nevada. FBI has lead on a couple of things. The only issue is being in the Ninth Circuit. So I don't know what that. So we're talking about the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals.
The perception narrative that has been pushed with one of the local NGOs had direct ties to the former governor here in Nevada. Perception narrative. FBI has lead on a couple of things. The only issue is being in the Ninth Circuit. I guess in the Ninth Circuit, they're assuming that they're not going to be able to do further investigation. Not sure.
That's what I don't understand.
I'm not sure. That is very cryptic. But what they're doing in this article is they're sharing with you some of what they got from their FOIA requests. These are part of the responses to FOIA. So and it's also showing how China clearly has some sort of ties not just to Walz but to Guy Lombardo, the governor of Nevada. Did he win?
I think so. Yeah. He's so. Also, that was, if I'm not, wasn't that the guy who was the sheriff at the time that the shooting happened? That nothing to see here. That
wasn't
the Las Vegas shooting.
Was he really?
Yeah, pretty sure he was the sheriff in Las Vegas, Joe Lombardo, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong.
Cool.
The official notes that it has more than strategic impact than obviously the general public knows. And Harris is number 2 taught in China. China interest reacts to Walz in a Microsoft Teams group chat.
You're defaulting to non-podcaster mode.
Okay. It says the article states that Walz spent a year in the southeastern province of Guangdong in 1989. a topic that was trending on Weibo with 12 million views. The fact that it happened in 1989, the year of the Tiananmen Square massacre, was not lost on those commenting on Chinese social media. A participant in the August 7, 2024 group chat with a name states, "China is happy." Another noted, "You need components," whatever that means. And someone adds that's a CIFT's Counterintelligence Task Force 2. FBI mission with the CI field, I believe we need to get included. But this is just all the stuff that they're getting reported out. As I'm saying, like I read this and I was like, man, it just gave me a headache. I was like, what are they saying?
A group chat participant adds, "I think this conversation is foyable." I mean, we won't be able to keep this secret, so watch what you say.
Yeah.
That's what foyable means. Like, we're worried Judicial Watch is going to dig this thing up.
Mm-hmm.
A participant states, "Makes a great point about counterintelligence coordination. I will state, though, that folks need to be cognizant of who the primary players, even with FBI being the executive agency for CITF, dealing with special access programs here. So CI depends on what the problem set is and who will take points." Yeah, this
By
is
CI. I think they mean counterintelligence, right?
Yeah.
So it's just the House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer said Homeland Security whistleblower told the committee that Walls was a target of the Chinese Communist Party and someone they can get to D.C. The whistleblower also disclosed that officials from DHS's Office of Intelligence and Analysis and Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, have been involved in the department's investigative and or intelligence work connected with the CCP, the state of Minnesota, and Governor Walz. So they've known about this for a while, and they were looking into it.
Yeah, and obviously never bothered telling anyone because that would only hurt Kamala.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
shows by the way what a great job Kamala did in vetting out Tim Walz. Stupid. Another participant explains, so this person requesting a meeting with Walz due to the House investigation they have Walz for his relationship China. Then he drafted this letter for upcoming travel he has to China, assuming he'll get detained.
Oh yeah, I just understand a person who knows Walz was trying to contact him saying, "Hey, if I get detained, can you help me?"
The person requesting a meeting with Walz, Chang Wang, is a U.S. citizen attorney, adjunct professor at the University of Minnesota, vice chair, Council of Asian Pacific Minnesotans. Wang writes to Walz that he fears being forcibly detained upon an upcoming visit. So can you take care and talk to the Chinese masters? Because I know that you're good friends with Xi Jinping.
You got connections there. Can you make a couple calls?
He included a copy of his itinerary. He's like, "This is where I might get stopped along the way. I might need your help here with Ping." That's how widely known it is for people who are actually linked to who actually have dealings with China. I read this as TNR, but what am I missing? Another ads. This is what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Begs the question. I don't know what TNR means. That's
what I'm saying. That's why I read it yesterday, and I was like, I don't know what all these acronyms mean.
Yeah, it begs the question: if he anticipates being detained, why go? It looks like it's a bunch of analysts who have bits of information they're sharing with each other and trying to just figure it out together what they can make from this. Like, why would you go if you might get detained? Thank you so much, Julius
stands for transnational repression.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure it counts as TNR since it seems to assume being snatched while in China, so isn't crossing borders. It claims to be pressure to seek to coerce him while he's home in apparently Minnesota. Yeah. So yes, and I'm gonna have to tap out. I have a pounding headache right now. My migraine is killing me.
All right, I think it's good. This is a good breaking point anyway. Can you tell people where they can find you and can give me a link so I can
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm sorry, I should have did this. My name is Jim. I have a channel called Jim Tells You. I stream most nights at around the evening time, and I go from anywhere from 2 hours to 4 hours, depending on if people meet the goal. Wow. I need the goal to be met to stream longer. You want double length show? You got to pay.
Pay me.
You
remind me of from Goodfellas.
F you, pay me.
F you pay. That was such a great quote. Oh yeah, so your insurance rates went up. F you, pay me.
Yeah.
Supply lines got cut. F you, pay me. Had a flood. F you, pay me.
Brian Olderkamp coming in with 20 Good Logic memberships.
Nice. Oh, we're gonna give him the horn for that. Not that anyone but me heard that, but that was the residue of that. So yeah.
So yeah, you can find me on YouTube or Rumble or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or
anywhere or anywhere that hardware supplies are sold. So let's check out who he brought in here. You're gonna share your links with me while I check out who he brought in.
I did.
Here.
I put it in there.
Okay, fine.
Oh wait, I did, didn't I?
I didn't see it, so
I'll put it.
You might want to make sure. You might want to make sure that you have it there.
I'll put it
following 20 people brought in courtesy of awesome Brian Oldenkamp. That includes brought into the following. That includes Bruce Rice is 00 Toxiotko TS Vincent ZG 2IN the rest of Shirk 5463. You guys, when I'm calling out your names, you should be expressing your gratitude to Brian Oldenkamp. That's part of being a member of the following. The following is not at all a cult type of cult. It's just about greater personal growth, and part of that is expressing your gratitude to the awesome Brian Oldenkamp. Who else we got? We got JA590, Tuckwheat, Vanilla Gorilla 2024, Penny 5, Chase Junkie 6625, Adam K 4264, Audra, you buy now. Potato Biden saying gimme. I don't think he got it. Got it. Patty Bilsma 9331, Beverly Alford, Elen Cow, as well as Barbell Mount 2670, Joe Sullivan 3400, Fat Potato 49. That's the wrong one. Potato Biden really wants it, not fat. No offense, Fat Potato. Everyone likes fat potatoes. Everyone does. Don't take it personally. People like fat potato. Why would you want a skinny little potato? No one wants a skinny. People like fat potatoes. And we welcome you into the following. We also welcome Pug Genie 6920, Extreme Shaft 2TI, and there you go. And Bruce Rice already said thank you for the memo. Very kind indeed. See, Bruce Rice knows how it's done. He knows how it's done. God bless you. And please, if you're new to the following, please bear in mind that there's no Kool-Aid, no tracksuits that are mandatory, no spaceships, mild farm work, no goat sacrifices. And welcome. We really appreciate you, and thank you again, Brian. All right, so tell everyone a little bit more about yourself while I'm adding this stuff in here. Yeah, well,
my name's Jim, and I tell you the news.
No, Bruce Rice should.
Oh, okay, I'm listening. My name's Jim, and I tell you the news. And remember, don't eat the bugs.
Nice.
Don't eat the lab meat either.
Nice. All right. And
did you see that Texas and Florida were outlawed lab meat? I put that story in the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that somehow. All right. So the links are now in there in the description. I urge you guys, please make sure you like, share, and follow. And while you're here, if you can please leave a comment, that would be awesome. And like
it really helps with the algorithm.
It does. It really. If you care about the algorithm, and I don't like caring about it, but unfortunately, that's just part of the business I'm in. I have to care about it. So hence I do. So if you care about helping me with the algorithm, it would be most appreciated if you could drop a comment, a like, a share, subscribe, share with your friends. Don't keep me to yourself. It's not going to change anything between us if you share me with others. Do not eat the bugs and the lab meat. That's for they, them, not for you. Have a good night, everyone. And as always, Godspeed.